Everyone please grab a seat.
Welcome to the library of Agudas Hasidei Chabad and to the exhibition. The library itself, that contains about 300,000 volumes, most of them are old and rare, is not open for the public library. It's a research library where people come in to look up something in a book they cannot find anywhere else. For this cause, we have a small reading room where someone would come in and fill out a form, ask for a specific book to be checked, and then the librarian would bring it up to him. He should be able to check. That's for researchers. But there is thousands and thousands that want to come, just browse and see the interesting and holy and rare items that are here in the library. For this we have this hall, which is the exhibition hall, where from time to time we select a subject and we display items that are related to this subject. This present exhibition, we call it the exhibition of our Rebbes, where each one of the Rebbes has a one showcase where we display the most interesting holy items that we have from that Rebbe. If we have, then it's an artifact that he used. If we have manuscript, his handwriting, we show manuscript of his handwriting. Let me just give you a general briefing what to see here in the exhibition, where on each item that you see here, there is a description, a writing in the showcase or in the display table to describe what it is. But to make it easier, I'll just give you a general briefing. And then, after you have the general understanding, you'll be able to continue browse by yourself, and I'll try to stand here to answer any questions that you may have. So let me start with the first showcase of the Rebbe. We showed them mainly the artifacts that we have of the Rebbe. What means artifact? Let's start with the whole year, starting with Rosh Hashanah. He blew shofar every year. He had several shofars of the previous Rabbein. He would bring in a handkerchief all the 5 shofars that he has from the previous Rabbein. Then he would blow in one of them. You'll be able to see the shofars that he used to bring and that he used to blow in. And you'll be able to see that they are laying on a handkerchief that he used to bring down the shofars with this handkerchief. It's not only that you see there the handkerchief. It was very difficult for him to blow. He didn't even have too many teeth. So after he finished blowing with his whole strength, some drops of blood came out between the teeth. And he would wipe it with this handkerchief. And when you see these shofars laying on a handkerchief, you'll see in several spots the red marks of the blood that he took in his whole power to blow the shofar. After Rosh Hashanah, we're getting to Hanukkah. You'll be able to see there the Hanukkah menorah that he used to light candles on every year since he came to the States, on that small tray. A very simple Hanukkah menorah. He didn't like anything to make him look like a king. He wanted to be just like everyone. Simple. And it doesn't mean that he didn't have. Someone gave him a gold menorah for Hanukkah. And it's still in his house, in the safe. But he lit always on this very simple Hanukkah menorah. From Hanukkah we're getting to Purim. He used to have an old Megillah that he brought from Europe. It wasn't written by the best sefer that is around. It was, after all, in Europe in the difficult times. He used to listen to this Megillah till 1969, when one of the Chassidim decided to ask a sefer to write for the Rebbes, special Megillah. And then he bought a silver holder and he gave it to the Rebbe. Since 1969, the Rebbe was listening in that new Megillah. You'll be able to see there both Megillahs, the old one and the new one. From Purim we're getting to Pesach. Pesach, he used to have the kaira in top of it, the matzahs in top of the kaira. The kaira would be hidden with the tablecloth. Nobody should see because he didn't want to be extraordinary looking. In top of that, there is a cup for Kiddush, for Pesach, of gold. That's the only one that he accepted the present from one of the great Chassidim of him. And he used to, not here in 770 when he used to have the Seder, he had a simple cup. But in his house, he used to make Kiddush and the 4 cases on this golden cup. In addition to that, we have here the 3 standards of the Rebbe. The 3 earliest standards that the Rebbe used to daven. If you take a look on the first standard, not only small and simple, from very simple wood that after a while it's pleated and started breaking. The Rebbe didn't want to have a standard. He says, why do I need a standard? I'll just give him down by the table like everyone. Well, the Chassidim told him, you know, you cannot sit down on a table like everyone. If you sit down on a table, everyone will go stand up and go to another table. Nobody's going to sit with you on a table. So he agreed, okay, I'll down by a standard, but it should be simple wood, a simple standard, nothing extraordinary. For 5 years, he downed on this standard. When he used to sit, he used to hold it, sit on his lamp. When he used to stand, he used to hold it, sit on top. And you'll see not only it's simple wood, but you'll see the crack after several years. It started cracking. It was very simple wood. Then he agreed he should make for him another standard. The other standard they made a little taller, he should be more comfortable, but also very simple. Nothing extraordinary. He died with that for another 5 years. In Israel, those days, a lot of immigrants came from the Arab countries. The children needed education. He opened for them in Kfar Chabad a vocational school where they would learn a half a day Torah and a half a day some special job training. One of the 5 was carpentry. They decided to build a nicer standard and to send it with a charter of the Chassidim that came for Tishrei. So they sent this standard with it. The Rebbe downtown that standard for the next 20 years till they built from another standard. That's just a sample of items of the Rebbe. Let's go to the second showcase of the Friedrich Rebbe. There also you will be able to see the menorah. This is already not such a simple. It's a silver. It's a simple, but it's a silver menorah. You'll be able to see it later when you'll browse. He lit the Hanukkah menorah on it for 10 years, since when he came here in 1940 till 1950. The last picture we have from the Friedrich Rebbe is Hanukkah Tovshin Yud, a month and a half before these talks. Picture of him sitting in his Yechidus room by the door. And by the door there is a step stool that he used to use for the Sforim in the room. In top of this step stool there was the menorah, and he is sitting and like listening to the story that the Hanukkah candles tell us. You'll be able to see there the menorah. You'll be able to see there the picture, the last picture we have of him. Sitting, concentrating, looking at the candles. Obviously, he had also the kaira that you will be able to see there. This kaira wasn't used only for 10 years that he was here. For next 20 years, when the Rebbe used to have his Seder here in the apartment of the Friedrich Rebbe, in the dining room of the Friedrich Rebbe, he used to continue sitting on the side. In the front of the table stood a chair for the Friedrich Rebbe and the kaira on it. So we saw this kaira for several years when the Rebbe used to have his Seder here. You'll be able to see the shtreimel, the spodik that he used to wear on Shabbos. Well, when you have a spodik, you wear on Shabbos, so you don't have pictures of it. Because he didn't wear it on the weekdays. You'll be able to see on the weekdays only the regular hat that you have in his showcase. On 2 occasions, he wore the shtreimel in a weekday. And that's when we have the pictures of him wearing the shtreimel. One occasion is when he was saved from the Nazis of Europe and he came to the States and he was going off the ship and the whole crowd of Chassidim was waiting for him on the pier. For this occasion of being saved of the Europe, of burning Europe, he put up the shtreimel, and you'll be able to see the picture of him wearing the shtreimel, sitting in his room on the ship before going off the ship. The second occasion he wore the shtreimel on a weekday was 9 years later. Then he got the citizen papers. The citizen papers, it was already hard for him to go to the court and to form and to get sign and to get it. For his honor, in 1949, the judges came to the 770 to his room to affirm him, and he should sign, and they gave him the citizen papers. For this occasion, he put on this stein that is finally part of a country that there is freedom for Jewish people. He was supposed to sign several times. In the citizen papers he signed twice, one under the picture and one in the center, and in several more places. In back of him stood a Rebbe, and as you'll be able to see in the picture, showing him, now you have to sign here, now you have to sign here, and now you have to sign here. In front of him stood the 3 judges, and then they tell him to pick up his head and to affirm that he'll be liable, good to the country. And you'll see there the citizen papers with his 2 signatures. We show there even his glasses. Glasses is so regular, everyone has glasses. But in those days it wasn't regular glasses. They didn't have the part that goes on the ear. It used to be only glasses with a handle on the side and put it on the nose. You'll be able to see the glasses in the cover that was made in Riga, and the picture him wearing that glasses. And so we can go from showcase to showcase and to tell you all the items, and will never end. But till the 7th showcase of the Alter Rebbe, the founder of Chabad, you wouldn't see there only the first printer, Tanya, and also part of his handwriting of the Tanya. His handwriting of the Tanya itself perished in a fire in his house in London. But the 3rd part of the Tanya, which is called the Yeres HaTshuva, he gave before to his son, the Mittel Rebbe, to rewrite it nice for the printer to be able to print from it. After he finished rewriting it, he gave it back to the Alter Rebbe, to the founder of Chabad, for final proofreading. And in the final proofreading, he corrected and added lines on the side of the margin, in between the lines, and that's the way it was published. So you'll be able to see the original handwriting. You'll be able to see on the side sitting a sefer of Shailas Tshuvos of the Marik of several hundred years earlier. That on the side you'll be able to see on the margin the handwriting of the Alter Rebbe in one detail that it doesn't agree with him. So that's more or less just samples. There is one showcase of the Baal Shem Tov, which is the 8th one, where the display tables from the Rebbe's parents, from the old Chassidim, from other Rabbeim, not only from Chabad, and so on. On every item there is a description that you'll be able to see exactly what it is, and if you'll have any questions, I'll be here to try to answer you. But before you start browsing, let me tell you just a few words about today, Hey Teves. You all know what the court case that took so long, till the judge gave a verdict that the library belongs to Agudas Chasidei Chabad, and he has to return all the books that he took. He appealed, and after half a year, the appellate court also said he has to bring everything back, and everything was returned. That was on Hey Teves, 87. Next year, Hey Teves, 88, Tafshin Mem Ches, it came out on Shabbos, and there was a Verbringen. In this Verbringen, the Rebbe announced, you should know, it says by Purim, Vayomim ho'elu nizkorim v'nasim. Chassidus explains that when you every year mention nizkorim, you live with it. Nasim, the miracle comes again. And the same thing is Hey Teves. Hey Teves is a Yems Gulo for everything that has to do with the Dan Notzach, for the Sforim and for the library. Every year when this day comes, it's a day of victory for the Sforim and for the library. And then the Rebbe says, so that means that every one of us is supposed to help build this library. If he has a sefer that the library still doesn't have, he should preferably give it to the library. The library to be enlarged and enriched. And that includes also the special campaign we do on this day to give the people the opportunity to take part in this campaign. That most of the expenses of the whole year of the library, with this, all the projects, the special projects that we do in this library, come from this campaign. Everyone has the ability, as the Rebbe said, that this day is the day that is the Tam Notzach of the library and of the books, so everyone has the ability to take part in the building and the success and enrichment of this library. Let me just tell you, feel free to browse everything that is here, and if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to try to answer your questions. Yes.
Thank you so much. Have any of these Sefarim been digitized to be able to...
I mentioned before many projects. One of the projects that we did is we have on our site of the library, chabadlibrary.org, 25,000 of the most rare Sforim that are in the library, scanned and up by us in PDF. That's from the printed library. We have 3,000 volumes of manuscripts written by the Rebbes or copied from the writing of the Rebbes. All 3,000 volumes were scanned and uploaded on our site that everyone is able to see them. Number one of this collection is the Siddur of the Baal Shem Tov that was written for the Baal Shem Tov. Everyone could see the whole Siddur. Here in the showcase we don't show the original. Everything here is original, but this is too holy to be original. But everyone could see the whole thing. We have a collection, a very rare collection of posters, leaflets. We scanned and uploaded over 1,000 of the older ones and the rare ones, starting from the 16th century until 70, 80 years ago. The new ones are already so many and not that valuable to scan. But the old ones, on each one, we have a scan, and in the catalog, you could ask for the department of all posters, which is 151 and 152 section, and you could see all of them in a PDF, and many other projects that we do. Okay, so feel free to browse, and there is a description on every item, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you.
Yeah, I should have.
Yes, my pleasure.
It's like almost a slide.
You did. You did.
It's like this size.
Maybe.
Anybody can walk through that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe.
okay.
Yes.
No, because the time
I not only.
the library.
I was going to ask you why you want to do
No? Never been this in the library before? Really? Glad you're able to make it.
So cool. You did it? Oh, no, you got it. I'm like grabbing it.
Right. What is I wanted just you so I think you like about
Not that I know a lot about
the
but like my arguments and brain is like, this does not feel like the rhyme versus
Oh, yeah.
You give my number and then I'll add for it.
yes.
Yes?
So, I do their
646 526.
Yeah, but the one that doesn't know
This is your profession?
of the conversation. Don't know.
What is your But the E or no? Yes, that's very nice. So, and then you do it as a profession too? Yeah, right. Thank you.
A lot of material the cover. The time we don't have.
Friedrich lived in 770, like I think at the end of his life, and I've also lived in 770, although it might have been, I don't know, you have to ask him, because I don't know exactly, but at different times. The reason why they bought something promulgated, Friedrich was severely beaten in Russia, wherever he was, and so he needed an elevator. So that's one of the reasons why we bought 770. What?
You know where they bought it from?
So
Yeah.
there's controversy, but yeah.
My knowledge was just from the doctor who used it as an abortion hospital.
Right. I think the newspaper stuff.
Yeah.
The rabbi.
It was but at the time,